天草、それ切ってくれる？
おっと、それは失礼。エムザッキーはお嫌いで？
今が気分じゃないだけ。
Amakusa turned the radio off. The world of cheery sounds was immediately swallowed up by the roar of the sea, and blotted out by the ocean's gray.
見えるかい？あの辺が当時の船着き場だ。
The boat captain pointed, but I couldn't really recall that scene of 12 years ago. I thought I'd surely be able to immediately remember how things had been at that time, but no memories came back to me. After that incident, the island was sealed off and left to the wild. I couldn't satisfy myself with the thought that this was just inevitable, and it felt sad and painful for some reason. But I at least remember one thing. You might say that it'd probably be the same anywhere on the sea, but I remember at least one thing. The cries of the seagulls. I do remember those. When I was young, I rarely went to the ocean, so everything that symbolized the ocean meant Rokenjima and a family gathering to me. In short, it was a symbol for the happiness of going out with my family. However, at this point in time, it seemed doubtful whether that even was happiness. In my younger days, the trip had felt like a relaxed family vacation, but considering my parents' situation at the time, it was surely a very difficult trip to handle, with the distribution of the inheritance filling the place with the smell of gunpowder. I can remember giggling all over the place, completely ignorant of my parents' feelings.
六軒島ですかい。すべての始まりで、すべての旅の終着駅ってわけだ。
Amakusa, in an attempt to speak for my innermost feelings, tried to sound cool. The boat slowly rounded the island. I hoped that viewing it at a different angle might bring back my memories of the island's silhouette at the time just a little. But in the end, even when that inlet was hidden completely by cliffs, I wasn't able to remember anything.
船長、さっきのもう一つの船着き場の話を聞かせてください。
六軒島には船着き場は一つしかないことになっとる。だがそれは表向きだ。
島裏のもう一つの隠された船着き場。六軒島そのものね。誰も知らない二つ目のもう一つの顔がある。
六軒島は後宮家の領有する島だ。だが金蔵さん個人が所有する島というもう一つの顔がある。
一つの島、二つの船着き場、二つの屋敷ですかい。愛人を囲うためだけに随分と金をかけたもんだ。
もう一つの船着き場のことを知る人間は
限られとる。金蔵さん、執事の源氏さん、わしら船の関係者。
Nanjo probably knew about it, since he apparently walked down the halls of what was that place called again? Something Dorian? Kua Dorian.
高齢の使用人がほんの数人だ。南城診療所の先代先生も熊沢のばあさんも知っとった。
So Kumasawa knew about it as well. You know, I was thinking that maybe the reason that Kumasawa was said to have quit her job sometimes, like she would sometimes take time off and then come back and be rehired, that might be because she was working at the other mansion.
数えりゃ結構いるような気がするが、とにかく知っている人間はわずかだった。
その もう一つの屋敷について教えてください。
クワドリアンちゅう名前のお屋敷があるとだけは聞かされとった。わしは船を離れることを許されんかったから一度も見たことはないが。
船着き場からは見えないくらいに遠いということですかい？
わからん。ただ隠し屋敷だからな。外からは見えん場所に建ててあったろうな。とにかくクワドリアンについてはあの島の最高の秘密だった。
クワドリアンにベアトリーチェが住まわされていた、あるいは幽閉されていたという説がありますが、船長はどう考えますか？
わしはクワドリアンへの雑貨も運んでおった。その中に女しか使わんような、それも高級なもんが含まれることも多かった。わしもその説を確信しとる。
では船長はベアトリーチェって女を直接見たことはないわけですか？
ない。20年近く出入りをしたが一度も見たことはない。
20年9ってことは最低でも年齢プラス20ってわけだ。こりゃマドモアゼルは期待できね
えな。だがクワドリアンへの出入りはある日を境にぷっつりとなくなっちまった。今からだいたい30年前、昭和43年頃だったと思う。
ぷっつりと突然？
食料やゴミなどの運搬往来でわしらは決められた日程で裏に行っとった。ああ、裏っちゅうのはクワドリアン側の船着き場のことだ。
わかります。それで？
ある日源氏さんから急な連絡があった。別の指示があるまで裏には行かなくていいって言うんだ。
Okay, when was this? About 30 years ago.
別の指示と？
特にはなかった。早い話がある日突然裏には今後定期便はいらない、食料も届けなくていいと言われたわけだ。わしは最初クビにされたのかと思ったよ。だがすぐに気づいた。それにクワドリアンのことを知る使用人たちの様子からもなんとなく察しがついた。
ベアトリーチェが死んで食料を届ける必要も世話人を送る必要もなくなった。
わしはそう考えとる。それっきり裏へ船を出せという指示は受けてない。しかし裏については死ぬまで何も喋るなと。その後源氏さんが直接わしのところへ来てえらく強く念を押した。
その20年間も放置、どうしてエヴァおばさんが？
On that day 12 years ago, Ushidamiya Eva somehow escaped harm alone in a hidden mansion 2 kilometers away from the mansion. Why was she in a hidden mansion that had been forgotten for 20 years?
ワイドショーで見たよ。わしにも何が何だかさっぱりわからん。エヴァさんを裏へ案内したことは一度もない。どうしてどうやってクワドリアンを知りたどり着いたのかわしにはさっぱ。
裏のクワドリアンに陸路で行くことは不可能だったのかしら？
もしも話通りに未開の密林だとしたら、おめかしした奥様風情に踏破できるもんじゃありませんぜ。
じゃあ回路、モーターボートみたいなものがあったとか？
まさか。あの二晩の台風はそりゃひどいもんだった。船なんぞ使えるわけもない。
じゃあ屋敷とクワドリアンを直通する、例えば 地下通路のようなものがあったとか。
Well, we don't know that there is, but according to Kirie, her account that she told Badler on the phone, there should be. I believe she told him everything that she saw, so I guess that would include the hidden passage.
愛人の家へ出入りするのに毎回船の用立てが必要なんて面倒でしょ。
全長 2km の六軒島の対角線上に存在する屋敷をつなぐためにそんだけの長い地下トンネルをとバカにしてえところだが、愛人のために隠し屋敷まで作っちまう大富豪だ。それも否定できんところですね。どうなんですか船長。
わしは海の人間だ。穴のことはわからん。だが硫黄島で旧日本軍は25キロのトンネルを掘ってみせたぞ。あの金蔵さんなら2キロくらい掘ってみせてもわしは何も驚かん。
やっぱりおかしな島ね。私たちはこの島のことを未だ誰一人何も知らない。
The boat reached the shore. They would have to walk a short ways to reach the mansion.
わしはここで待っている。屋敷は向こうだ。当時の道が残っているだろうが、草木で覆われてしまってるはずだ。迷わんように気をつけてな。
ほんじゃ行きましょうかね。
ありがとう天草。あんたもここで待ってて。
ま、そう言い出すんじゃないかと思ってましたぜ。
届け物をするだけよ。あなたが一緒だと向こうが迷惑するの。あんたの毒素強そうだから。
毒素？はて。
すぐに戻るわ。今日の本命はクアドリアンの方だもの。届け物をしたらすぐに戻ってくるわ。
Ange put on her knapsack, holding the flowers she would offer.
さしてやれ若いの。行ってこいお嬢ちゃん。あんたの家族が待っている。
I'd never been on a road like this, but I had no trouble finding my way. If I walked straight ahead, it would probably guide me to the final destination for everything. It was true that the vegetation was incredibly thick, and if I didn't pay attention, I would lose track of the path. But the road that was left was much clearer than I'd guessed it would be. Still, that didn't change the fact that it was a bad road. Contrary to the distance shown on the map, I was forced to walk a long way. The forest was deep and dark. At the time, I had been threatened into staying away from the forest because a witch lived there. Of course, that fear is gone now, but I feel it. Because I was me. I could feel the presence like an aura of the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Here and there were massive fallen lumps of rock along with overgrown trees and ivy. And the voices of birds and bugs. Yeah, I feel it. I feel that the witch is here. Ahead, an ivy-covered construction site fence and warning sign stood. No entry, Tokyo Metropolis. That was written on it. Yeah, that's right. When you think Tokyo, you tend to think of a city, but Rokkenjima is also located within the Tokyo Metropolis. Apologizing to the sign for my rude mistake, I climbed the fence. When I crossed the steep slope beyond that, my field of vision rapidly expanded, and a fresh sea breeze blew through my hair. It was like the top of a little hill. Below me was a vast view of the island. I could only see desolated forest and rock walls spread out below me, but I realized that the mansion was probably somewhere around there. The steep downward slope beyond this hill had probably been caused by earth and rocks collapsing from 12 years of wind and rain. It had become a slant filled with crags that you might even call gentle cliffs, and it would be easy to tumble down, though it looked like climbing back would be pretty difficult. In any event, it seemed that proceeding any further would be impossible. If I continued any further, I wouldn't be able to return. In other words, this is the border. This place is 1986 and 1998. And it is that day and today, the boundary between this world and Nirvana.
この旅の終着点みたいね。
As the strong winds blew Mamon's and Sakutado's hair, they looked down from the hilltop.
ここからじゃさっぱりわからないわ。お屋敷はどこ？もっと近づきましょうよ。無理だよ。戻ってこれなくなっちゃうよ。
We won't be able to come back. Is that it? I see. This is 1998, and I am the Ushidamiya Enge who has been left all alone. At first, this was a journey to die, but not anymore. It's become a journey to accomplish something.
だからごめんね。あの日の私なら何も戸惑わずにこの崖を降りるだろうけれど。
ビルの屋上から飛び降りた後ろ宮エンジェが情けない。
ごめんね。
ここでも同じだよ。あの日の風が感じられるから。こんな風だったっけ？うん。もうすぐ来てくれるよ。みんな。
Sakutado said it as though it was completely natural, and I believed it. Dad, Mom, Oni-chan, all of my relatives, and those fun servants. And Maria One-chan.
私よ。エンジェよ。私は帰ってきたわ。
When I started my journey to expose the past of 12 years ago, my goal had been abstract and I hadn't understood. But now, I have no doubts. This journey was induced by several thoughts and fates over 12 years. A journey to reach an end for me, Ushidamiya Enge. And a journey to reach an end as the last witch of Mariage Sorcière. I came here as the last daughter of the Ushidamiya family, and as the last witch.
お父さん、お母さん、お兄ちゃん、ごめんね。先にマリアお姉ちゃんとの挨拶をさせてね。
A strong tailwind urged me on. That tailwind took just my soul out from inside my body to the vast forest beneath me. And though from here on I couldn't see, I believed that it flew me to the mansion on that day, to where everyone was, to where Maria One-chan was. And so, even though my body was on top of the hill, a strong wind blowing against me, my soul was now certainly dancing through that sky. The vast, vast sky of Rokkenjima. Below me was the green of many trees, but I understand. I can comprehend the presences of my family and relatives, and all the servants, and Maria One-chan too. I could even comprehend Maria One-chan as a witch. It was vast, more so than any vast space I had imagined up until now.
マリアお姉ちゃん、聞こえる？聞いて。
Ange called to the Maria of that day. She told her of the long journey she'd undergone, of her long-delayed realization of just how much she'd wounded Maria in her youth. She understood magic, and now understood everything about the world Maria had wanted to show her. It was very warm, overflowing with love and happiness. She wanted to become even happier by sharing that world, but I trampled it.
だから私、今こそ全部理解したの。魔法を理解した。私たちの魔法はきっととてもささやかで身近にあふれてる。 でもそれは誰の目にも見えるものではないのよ。魔法とは、ええ、はっきり言えるわ。
Without love, it cannot be seen. Sorry, One-chan. I've already been excommunicated from the Alliance of Witches, but now I understand how wonderful it is. And I know that after the day I wounded you, Mariage Sorcière was transfigured into something different from what you truly desired. Even the magic that spat anger by cursing people was probably important to One-chan in those days. One-chan's environment was sad enough to permit that.
でももうそんな悲しい日々は終わったよ。だからお姉ちゃんの魔女同盟を元の優しいマリアージュ・ソルシエルに戻そう。
The grimoire was in my hands before I realized it. The strong winds were rapidly blowing its pages one after another. That world had been kind in the beginning. How could you give birth to magic that would make candy fall from the sky? How could you give birth to magic that would make tomorrow's dinner creme croquette? How could you give birth to magic that would make the weather good when you went out the next day, making your whole day fun? New spells of happiness were created one after another, coloring her world with kindness. Those days were flipped through one after another, and months began to flash by. The pages with drawings that had once been colorful gradually began to change into the color of black ink. Eerie magic circles and demon summonings, evil magic for harming people. How could you give birth to magic that would cause the class bully to catch a cold? How could you give birth to magic that would seriously injure someone in class so that they died? How could you give birth to magic that would cause a bus loaded with all the bullies to fall off a cliff? Malicious spells were created one after another, burying the pages in her heart.
私がお姉ちゃんを傷つけたからマリアージュ・ソルシエルはこんなになってしまった。お姉ちゃんは黒き邪悪な魔女じゃない。白き優しい魔女だったのよ。私が元に戻してあげる。元のみんなを幸せ、マリアお姉ちゃんに戻してあげる。そのために私はここへ来た。運命に導かれてきた。お姉ちゃん聞こえてる？その姿を私の前に見せて。
That voice rode an even stronger wind and was sent 12 years into the past. Then the wind gradually ceased and silence fell. I could hear the sound of gravel being stepped on. I listened to those footsteps, surprised at this miracle. Without a doubt, those were Maria One-chan's footsteps.
マリアお姉ちゃん。
かすみよ。ようやく見つけたわよ。エンジェちゃん。
Well, so much for that. Before I knew it, Aunt Kasumi and her black suits, a total of 7 people who didn't resemble Maria One-chan in the slightest, were standing there surrounding me, and it felt like my voice had been just about to reach Maria One-chan too. Because of these guys' toxin, that magic was cut off. Ange clicked her tongue at that, but Kasumi probably didn't hear it that way.
そのお花は亡くなった家族への？偉いわ。それ投げるんでしょ？いいわよ。それまで待ってあげる。
Just what are you waiting for? But Ange could more or less guess. The way the black suits unnaturally stuck their hands into their pockets clearly brought to mind the likelihood that they had handguns. This is a deserted island. There could be no more convenient place to dispose of someone. I have absolutely no interest in the family matters of the Sumadera family. but if I die, all that wealth will go to them. Unlike me, they're probably very interested and concerned about this matter. Of course, it seems that if the massive amounts of stock I own suddenly go to them, it'll be pretty bad for the Yoshidamiya group as well. And they're apparently having a secret feud, fighting over me all by themselves. That's probably why President Okanogi gave me Amakusa as a guard. Having Amakusa wait on the boat was a regrettable mistake.
おばさん、いつからここで待ち伏せを？
早朝からよ。おかげですっかり待ちくたびれちゃったわ。何しろ喫茶店もお化粧室もないからね。
トイレもないから、お上品に木陰で用を済ませていたわけね。
仮にもスマデラ家の血を半分引いてる淑女が、そんな汚らわしい言葉を使うんじゃないわ。やっぱりスマデラキリエの子ね。気品のかけらもありゃしない。
She grabbed me by the hair and forced my face up to hers, and then spat at me. My words might be filthy, but they're no worse than her spit.
おばさんが私のことを話すと、いつも母さんのことばかり。私、そんなにも母さんに似てますか？
ええ、似ているわ。その生意気そうな目つき。鼻も口もそっくりよ。自由奔放で無責任。歴史と伝統あるスマデラ家の重みなど何も考えず、自分勝手に家を飛び出したわ。おかげで私の人生はずっとその尻拭い。
まさにあんたの人生クソまみれね。
When I was slapped on the cheek, my ear was smashed, and for an instant my head rang. My hair was pulled, spinning me around, and I fell to the ground. And in a flash, the ground was kicked and I was struck with sand.
ああ、本当に姉さんに似てきたわ。その目つき。そのどこか小馬鹿にした目つきよ。はあ、思い出すわ、いろいろと。
哀れな人ね。きっと幼い頃から何かにつけて母さんに比較されて蔑まされてきたんでしょうに。そしてあんたは一生その惨めさから解放されやしないわ。
お前みたいな小娘にはわからないわよ。あんたのお母さんはね、何もかもを投げ出してスマデラ家を逃げ出した負け犬なのよ。その負け犬のせいでどれほど迷惑したことか。
あんたの迷惑なんか私の知ったこっちゃないわ。私の生まれる前の話をされても困るわよ。あんたの人生はいつ始まるの？始まりゃしないわ。いつまでもいつまでも永久に死んだ母さんに嘲笑われ続け、そのまま死ぬのよ。というか死ねばなんで生きてるの？
この口の減らないガキが。あんたたちちょいとお茶をしてやりなさいな。
お任せを。口の利き方も知らねえクソガキが少し勉強させてやるぜ。
The black suits dashed up to me, violently grabbed me by the nape of the neck, and dragged me down.
私が一服終えるまでに適当に。かわいいメイにちょいと身の程を教えてあげなさい。
Sumadera Kasumi. When I think about it, she was a pitiable person. To the outside world, women of the Sumadera family were trained to be in a position that supported and deferred to men. But in actuality, strong leadership was required from them so that they could manage all the common people. The role demanded of them really was that of a female commander, like a literal reading of the word okami. managing the Sumadera family with all its traditions was not something that could be accomplished with just an ordinary level of dignity. It was an unimaginably heavy responsibility. Normally, this would have been demanded of Kirie. Kirie had undergone that harsh training. And Kasumi, as the younger sister, should have been able to take it easy. No, on the contrary, she had lived like a lazy, selfish, and affluent princess, sneering at Kirie, who had been given the heavy responsibility. However, Kirie had suddenly been disinherited. She had refused the fiancé her parents had arranged, and had gotten pregnant by her lover, Yoshidamiya Rudolph. From the Sumadera's perspective, even though the Yoshidamiya family held a vast fortune, it was a low-level family that had already collapsed. And to become not even a legal wife, but a mistress to the second son of that family. Normally a daughter of the main family would be shown no mercy for such dishonor. They would wrap her up in a mat, place a pole on an end, and throw her either into the Pacific Ocean if the pole fell to the right, or the Sea of Japan if it fell to the left. But Kirie's punishment ended with disinheritance, an unbelievably warm-hearted decision. After that, the Sumadera family began receiving favorable treatment from a section of the Yoshidamiya group. There must have been some kind of backroom deal. In other words, Kirie openly left the Sumadera family under the pretense of gaining financial support from the Yoshidamiya family. Kasumi had watched it happen in shock. No, she even disparaged her dishonorable sister as a loser. But eventually, she realized that the heavy responsibilities Kirie had borne would be passed on to her. And then, for the first time, she saw that she'd been outwitted.
あんたの母親のせいで私の人生はめちゃめちゃにされたわ。いいえ、一度殺されたと言ってもいい。あの日に私は一度殺されて地獄のような日々に突き落とされたのよ。
それまで人生舐めてきたツケじゃない。
口の減らねえ小娘だぜ。うら!
The black suit punched me in the gut and I doubled over, but I was quickly grabbed by the nape of the neck and made to stand up again. Kasumi cold-heartedly looked down at me, smoking a cigarette. The painful days after Kirie had left were floating through her mind. Until then, she had been allowed to be a simple lady, freewheeling and naive. Only the older sister, Kirie, had been harshly trained, and she, the younger sister, had been able to live as nothing more than a princess. Then, suddenly, everything got flipped over, and her life came crashing down.
私の人生、生活も生き方も事情を知らない親類からは姉さんの不名誉を理由にどれだけ蔑まれたことか。呪ったわ。あなたのお母さんを血を吐くほどに呪ったわよ。
そりゃ嬉しいわ。これからもよろしく。
A kick landed in Ange's side as she crawled on the ground. Ange didn't stand up again. So she continued to lie there like a caterpillar as she was kicked each time she spoke up.
姉さんを後ろ宮グループのパーティーで見かけたわ。あいつとても笑ってやがったわ。私全部を押し自分だ幸せに。
だから何？私に八つ当たりするとどうあんたが幸せになるってわけ？私に八つ当たりすると時間が巻き戻って歴史が変わったりしてくれるわけ？
あんたさっき言ったわね。私の人生はいつ始まるのって。いくら恨んでも八つ当たりしても 時間を巻き戻すことなんてできない。じゃあ私は死ぬまでこうして死んでもなお姉さんを恨み続けて？冗談じゃないわ。いつまで私は姉さんの亡霊に苛まれてなきゃならないのよ。だから考えたのよ。これを成し遂げたら全ての恨みを忘れてやり直せるってね。
And was about to lash back out at her, but stopped, because she'd be kicked again if she responded. Even if Kasumi didn't say any more, Ange had a pretty good idea what she meant. Kasumi thought that by taking revenge against Kirie's daughter, Ange, she'd be able to put an end to her hatred. Talk about pushing your problems onto other people.
ほら、そんなにこの島が大好きなら、しっかり深く埋めてあげるわよ。その若さで死にたくないでしょ。母が迷惑をかけてすみませんでしたとか言ってみたくはならない？
誰が言うもんか。
エンジ様、ダメ！こいつらを挑発しちゃダメです。ここは表向きだけでも調子を合わせて時間を稼ぐべきです。
くだらないプライドは燃えないゴミの火によく言うわね。
天草さんは天草さんが来てくれればきっと。
No, there's no reason he would come. She left him at the docks. I can't see any reason why he would be, like, tipped off that there would be a reason to leave there.
ダメ、あいつの姿は見えないわ。エンジ様のバカ、どうして天草を置いてきたんです？
I didn't need Mammon to tell me. I was seriously regretting it already. I walked a long way. The forest was very thick. I've got no doubts that signs of activity here won't reach the boat. During the time it took for Kasumi to finish casually smoking a whole cigarette, I was continuously tormented by the black suits as she told them to. The moment I grabbed at my head, my scalp was kicked by someone at a bad angle and my head was filled with stars. The feeling of stars flickering in this gray, twisted world was one I remembered clearly. My life was very similar to the one Sumadera Kasumi led. After all, as the successor to the Yoshidamiya family, I was tormented constantly with various kinds of bullying, under the guise of education and training. Yes, having the inside of my head filled with stars like this is a feeling I know well. When being reprimanded for some error in manners I seem to have made, the discussion always turned to whether I was fitting to be the successor or not. On and on about the honor of the Yoshidamiya family and how deep that was. By the time the conversation reached that point, I'd forget what mistake I was being blamed for in the first place. No, in fact, it was the same for Aunt Ava. After all, sometimes she'd ask herself, what was it again? But in the end, she wouldn't be able to remember and would say something like,
きっとエンジェが何か悪いことをしたのだろう。なら、その悪いことが問題なのであって、何をしたかなんて今さら思い出せなくても問題ない。
There'd be some ridiculous reasoning like that, and she'd keep on punishing me. Yes, Aunt Ava's punishment wasn't something that would continue until I learned something or acknowledged my mistake or apologized. It would continue until Aunt Ava wanted to stop. So this violence was a bit nostalgic in a way that made me want to vomit. I opened my eyes and look, there's Aunt Ava. Right next to Kasumi, who's smoking a cigarette. I can see Aunt Ava almost as though the two of them are laughing together. When I think about it, even Aunt Ava's life might be a thing worthy of my sympathy. The responsibility and pressure of being a member of the Ushinomiya family, which she often mentioned to me, had probably caused her great pain. After all, people can't make insults that they've never been the targets of themselves. It was probably the same for Aunt Rosa as well. As the youngest child of the Honorable Ushinomiya family, she must have gone through many tough times. So it was just like what Aunt Eva did to me. Just like what Sumadeta Kasumi is doing now. Aunt Rosa must have been the same. People tend to push the pain they're burdened with onto other people. Otherwise, they can never escape from that pain. So on in eternity and perpetuity, the chain of pain and sadness does not end. That's why Mario Onechan's magic was so incredible. With her magic, she didn't have to bear the pain caused by Aunt Rosa. The pain probably was pushed onto her. Its weight probably tormented her. But Onechan didn't carry that burden on her own shoulders. She purified it and filled her world with happiness. So I'm sure if Mario Onechan had had children in the future, she probably wouldn't have pushed the pain that had been forced onto her children. That chain of pain and sadness that stretched back for who knows how long, which she couldn't understand and which she had inherited, which had been forced onto her. Mario Onechan cut it with her magic.
なーに？私に何か文句でもあるの？
In the past, I would have snapped back. I would have met her hatred with hatred so they'd cancel each other out. No, nothing got cancelled out. The thing being forced on me ended up right there on my shoulders. Just like how even now, I hate her. So now that I know of magic, I'll look at the human called Ushinomiya Eva again. What I could see through to was a sad human form, no different from me, who had lost her family and who bore deep wounds in her heart. Unable to withstand the pain of that torn heart, she was doing nothing more than howl sadly, like a lion crying in pain, like a child. Even Ushinomiya Eva was someone I should have felt compassion for. She needed someone to understand the difficulties and pain of her childhood years. Even she, who was the only survivor of the Rokkenjima crime, who was faced with the curiosity of all society, who was publicly slandered and forced to have salt continually flung into the wound, had needed someone's compassion. In order to let Eva forget her pain and sadness at least a little, the Black Witch taught her magic, just like the times it had possessed Aunt Rosa. It was the same magic of anger and sadness that Beatrice had taught Mario Onechan when she was mourning for her torn-apart friend, Sakutaro. That same magic, that witch, had probably dwelled inside Aunt Rosa too. So I mustn't hate Ushinomiya Eva. Maybe I should have become her ally, as the only person in the world who could understand her. What did I say to her when I was young, when she returned alive all alone? Could it be that I acted as though she'd killed my family and returned on her own? I can't believe it. Aunt Eva, who has never been more than an object of a synonym for hatred throughout my life, is turning into a human I can understand. So I can see right next to Aunt Eva the form of the Black Witch who taught her the black magic. Aunt Eva was crying. It was only natural. Not only was no one willing to understand the pain of losing her husband and son at once, but her only relative had insulted her, saying, "Give me back my dad and mom." I can make the excuse that I was merciless because of my youth. However, to her at the time, it had probably been cruel enough to sever the last thread in her heart. In the following days, the talk shows and magazines publicly slandered her. The truth of her husband's business and character, and even her beloved son, were negated. She no longer had anything left. She could do nothing but cry and howl, trying to forget the pain and sadness at least for a while. After all, she could only feel a tiny bit of release, and only during the time that she howled. And so the Black Witch taught her how to howl. The one I hated was the Black Witch. Black magic can probably release one from that pain for an instant, however. It never lifts that weight from a person's shoulders. On the contrary, it forces that weight onto further victims, filling that world with hatred. If only Aunt Ava knew of white magic and had a true witch nearby. Shouldn't that have been me? Didn't I learn the magic to create happiness from Mario Ne-chan? If I'd taught her with that magic, could we have built a future with a completely different relationship? Up until now, I've hated Aunt Ava constantly, so I didn't notice the Black Witch beside her. Without love, it could not be seen. I didn't have any love for her. So now, finally, I'll glare at the Black Witch, the one I truly should hate. You know, I kinda didn't think we would actually get to see Ava Beatrice again, but here we are.
見えるわ。私が憎むべきはエヴァおばさんじゃなかった。あんたよ。
すごいじゃない。人間の分際で魔女の私が見えるなんてね。それでその目つきは何だと言いたいわけ？私が憎い？
憎い？ええ、憎いわ。でも少し違う。ただ悲しく思える。
悲しい？何言ってんの？いいじゃない、怒れば。思いっきり憎んじゃえば？
憎まないわ。あんたを憎むことはエヴァおばさんの憎しみをそのまま受け継ぐだけ。私は憎しみを断ち切る。エヴァおばさんの苦しみを受け止め、それを払って捨てるの。
何悟ったようなこと言ってるわけ？こいつ頭大丈夫？っていうかへそでも噛んで死んじゃえば？あんたらもっともっと蹴ってやりなさい。顔とかはダメよ。気の毒な顔がマシになっちゃったらつまんないから。
The black suits persistently kicked my stomach and back, as though they'd been ordered to by the Black Witch.
やれやれ、答えないね。私をじーっと見ちゃって。私が憎い。憎いでしょ？私もよ。
Katsumi sneered at me, but for some reason I had the feeling that she was crying behind that expression. Just like me, the pain of being forced into an unreasonable life would never, ever heal. The sad lion, gasping in pain from the thorn he can't get out, continues to howl.
ほら、スマデラかすみ、見てごらんなさい。かつてのあんたがそこにいるわ。気分が晴れるでしょう。かつてそこにいたあなたが今度はこっち側にいるのよ。愉快でしょう。立場が逆になるのは。
愉快だわ。 なんでそんな顔ができるのよ。エンジェ、泣きなさいよ。泣きたいんでしょ。
そうそう、泣きたいに決まってる。泣かせちゃいなさいって。あの時のあんたは泣かされちゃったじゃない。だからこいつも泣かせてやりなさいよ。エンジェもいいのよ。泣いちゃえば。
泣きなさいよ、エンジェ。あんたの泣き顔が見たいのよ。泣いてごめんなさい、かすみおばさんって言ってごらんなさいよ。
その言葉を言わせるのよ。あの言葉辛いでしょ。自分のせいじゃないことを謝らせられるのって本当に辛かったでしょ。同じ思いをさせてやるのよ。そうすることであなたの痛みは和らげることができるの。そうよ、それでいいのよ。もっと自分に素直になりなさい。もっともっといっぱいに自分の感情を吐き出しちゃえば。
The Black Witch provoked Kasumi, and Kasumi began to give herself over to that dark emotion. By turning deep sadness into an evil alcohol and forcing it down, trying to forget it for just an instant, nothing would change. The words Kasumi insulted me with were themselves sad, and I couldn't forgive the Black Witch who had imposed that sadness on Kasumi. I'd gone limp, which seemed to have stopped the black suit's kicking competition. Or maybe the kickers were getting tired too. Kasumi didn't order them to stop, but at some point they did. However, I was reflected in Kasumi's eyes, and they burned me with flames of hatred. She had been tempted by the witch to do that in order to relieve her own pain.
スマデラかすみ、まだよ。まだまだ踏みにじりなさい。あなたの人生はこんなほんのちょっとの乱暴で許せるの？
許せないわよ。まだこれくらいでは許せないんだから。
でしょ？許せるわけがない。もっとよ。もっと憎悪の炎を。憎しみの炎でしかあなたは暖を取れないの。怒りと悲しみの雪原で凍えるあなたを温められる炎は憎しみだけなのよ。ほら言って。叫んで。憎しみの方向で自分を燃やし尽くしちゃえば。
あんたを憎まなくちゃ私は生きてられないの。
スマデラかすみ、あの花束を。これ死んだ家族への花でしょ、エンジェ。
The Black Witch grinned at me unpleasantly, using her chin to signal Kasumi to pick it up. Kasumi picked up the flowers I was going to offer, brought them all the way over to me, dropped them, and made a show of trampling them. Her expression was filled with hatred and a frantic quality that couldn't be explained with hatred alone. She trampled them over and over again as though her sadness was reaching the bursting point. So the sound of her trampling it was just sad.
あら、この程度じゃ答えない？ならこっちは答えるかしら。スマデラかすみ、こっちを使いなさい。それは。
The object the Black Witch pointed at was Mario Nechan's grimoire. Kasumi also noticed it and picked up that book, which was heavier than it looked.
なにこれ。
読んじゃえばお腹がよじれちゃうかもね。
Katsumi opened the grimoire, skimmed over the contents, and snorted derisively.
返して。それはお姉ちゃんの。
Of course, my hand couldn't reach. My stomach was once again kicked by the black suits, and I doubled over.
ほらね、この本は演者にとっての大切なものでしょ。大切なものをけなしてやりなさい。こういう子には殴る蹴るよりもそっちの方が効くんだから。あなたがそれを一番よく知っているでしょ。
As though remembering something painful, Kasumi's face twisted for an instant, but that quickly disappeared, changing into a scornful smile directed at me.
なにこの気持ち悪い本。あんたが書いたの？
やめて。返して。見てよ、あの顔。もっとけなしてやりなさい。貶めてやりなさい。尊厳を踏みにじられる苦痛を教えてやるのよ。そうすることでしかあなたの苦痛は和らがないの。
何これ、恥ずかしい本。少女の時代に多少は占いの真似事に興味を持つこともあるけれど、これはちょっと行き過ぎじゃない？やだ、魔法だって。あんた、あれでしょ。アニメとかのなんとかなんとかって呪文を言いながら魔女に変身するやつ。ああいうの好きなんでしょ。痛々しいわ。
Cackling, Kasumi opened to a random page and showed it to the black suits. The black suits looked too and guffawed. That sneer didn't wound me, but I couldn't forgive it. After all, that sneer was ridiculing Mario Nechan. I don't hate Kasumi, but for forcing that unhealing anger and sadness on Kasumi, I cannot forgive the Black Witch. That Black Witch ate into Aunt Ava, Sumadera Kasumi, and Aunt Rosa, tormenting them for an eternity without letting their wounds be healed. I can't forgive her. I can't forgive the Black Witch.
何これ、傑作。お空から飴玉を降らせる魔法ですって。何々？お日様で清めたお水にお砂糖を溶いて、魔法の杖を浸して呪文を。何これ。痛い。
The black suits were also rolling around, guffawing. Then, grinning, the Black Witch whispered something into Kasumi's ear. After glaring at me with a grin, Kasumi took that page. I guess she's gonna rip it out. Kasumi grabbed hold of that page, tore it off, crumpled it up, and threw it away.
ひどいよ。それはマリアの魔法。あら、そうなの？それはお気の毒。
It was one of the spells to summon happiness that Maria had made with Sakutaro. Anyone knows that making sugar water, coloring it, and leaving it by the window isn't going to make candy fall from the sky. But after repeating that every day, one time on her way home from school, she had found several pieces of candy scattered around. How happy must that miracle have made Maria One-chan? Didn't she treasure that candy, eating it during her night alone with Sakutaro to distract herself from her loneliness? That magic that One-chan had given birth to had been torn and thrown away and had disappeared. The whole miracle of happiness that magic had given birth to had been torn and thrown away.
これも傑作だわ。晩ご飯をクリームコロッケにする魔法。次は何？ピーマンが美味しく食べられる魔法。これも生かすわ。バカバカしい。
それも破いちゃいなさいよ。どんどん破いちゃえば。
With a brutal, loud laugh, the Black Witch made Maria One-chan's spells get torn out one after another. Magic of happiness was sneered at, torn, and thrown away.
やめろ！やめろ！マリア教の魔法を怪我すな！汚い毒素で怪我すんじゃない！
Mammon cried and yelled, but she had no way of reaching Kasumi.
いいじゃない。怪我されちゃえば。魔法の奇跡？幸せにする魔法？ないない、そんなのないってば。痛みと苦しみはね、他人に押し付けてしか癒せないのよ。あんたは確か魔法のお友達とかいうやつだったわよね。スマデラかすみ、こいつのページを開きなさい。
これは何？魔法のお友達ですって？煉獄の七姉妹？物騒な名前。すごい速さで飛んで敵をやっつけてくれるんですって。エンジェ、あなたこんな魔法が使えるなら今すぐ使った方がいいんじゃない？くだらない。
The page that wrote of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory was also heartlessly torn away. The page itself was just paper. It wasn't Mammon's vessel or anything. But the tearing, denying toxin burned Mammon from the inside. Mammon's face twisted from that heat and pain.
大丈夫、マモン。しっかり。これくらい平気。私よりエンジェ様の方が辛い。
However, Mammon's expression was twisted with unbearable anguish and humiliation.
やめろ、黒き魔女。どうして君はそんなことをするんだよ。どうして魔法を幸せのために使えないんだよ。ああ、あんたも魔法のお友達ね。あんたも怪我してあげるわ。スマデラかすみ、こいつのページも探しなさい。
こっちは何？この下手くそなライオンの落書き。作太郎？変な名前。一番大好きなお友達だって。そうなの？これがあんたの友達？親友？このライオンが？ねえねえ。
本当に下手くそな落書き。こんなブサイクなライオンがあんたなのね。こんなのお友達にしてるなんて、後ろ宮マリアってこの頭のかわいそうさに呆れてへそでお茶が沸いちゃうわ。バカみたい。へそ噛んで死んじゃえば。うりゅ。 マリアをバカにするな。やめて、破かないで。ダメ。
There was a shrill sound. The page had been filthily ripped out. The picture of Sakutaro that One-chan had drawn was violently ripped in half. A pair of the black suits laughed vulgarly, and heartlessly trampled the two halves that had been torn and thrown away.
サクタラ、しっかり。僕は悲しくなんかないよ。ただ悔しい。マリアのことを何も言えない自分が。私たちは見えない人間にはいないも当然。私たちは必要としてくれる人間としか。だから家具。
As Sakutaro and Mammon supported each other, they crouched down, sobbing. I couldn't stand it either. Those who can't see how wonderful the world of magic is can't understand it. You can't explain to humans who can't understand. So it gets belittled if you could show them it, but you can't. Because in front of humans who are filled with the magic-resisting toxin and who can't understand magic, magic cannot be used.
本当にわけがわかんないわ。この妄想日記、頭がおかしいとしか思えない。あんたのお花畑の頭の中が垣間見えて本当に面白いわ。気持ち悪い子。
あんたもマリアもそこのぬいぐるみと家具もね。
おかしいわ。あんた友達いないんでしょ。いっつも一人ぼっちでぬいぐるみがお友達なんでしょ。かわいそうな子。大丈夫。私にもわかるわよ。そういう生活わかるもの。だから私が認めてあげるわ。あんた本当にかわいそうな子よ。
To you, it would probably look like something made by a pitiful child. That's right. If 100 people were to read One-chan's diary, 100 people would probably think the same thing. I used to be like that too. But you know, despite all of that, Maria One-chan summoned a world of happiness. Don't deny that magic, that happiness.
頑固な子ね、あんたは。いいわ。これで最後よ。あんたとマリアの信じた本当にくだらない魔法の根源を引き裂いてあげるわよ。スマデラかすみ、そのページを読みなさい。
なに？このカラフルなページは。なになに？大好きないつまでも仲良しでいられる魔法。
やめて！そのページだけは！
の魔法すんごく簡単じゃない。私でもすぐできそうだわ。こんなに短い呪文なら私にだって覚えられちゃう。やってみようかしら。
Oh god, I have a feeling.
本当に簡単な呪文よね。
I think I know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be ooh, isn't it?
いいわよ、やってあげなさい。みんなも吹き出しちゃうから。
With expressions that ridiculed it from the bottom of their hearts, the Black Witch and Kasumi tapered their mouths, and they said it aloud.
うう
The black suit stared blankly, asking what the hell that was supposed to be. Then Kasumi answered, cackling.
これがね、呪文なんだって。おかしい。ほら、あんたたちもやってみれば。
The black suits imitated that moaning voice, making fun of it. Ooh, ooh. That was the incantation for the magic that would let her always be friends with her beloved mother.
何このバカみたいなの。うう言うだけで家族仲が良くなるなら世界はずっと平和だわ。バカなうなり声。
こんなの連呼してたら頭のかわいそうなこと思われるのがオチよ。バカじゃない。いや、やめろ。その魔法だけはけなさないで。
It was the day of a picnic when Mario and Eichan and Aunt Rosa were alone. It was written that this was one of the top 5 happiest days of her life. One-chan was singing a song she'd just learned from her mama. Her mother had been delighted, but partway through, Maria forgot the lyrics. But since she saw that her mother was so happy, she tried to sing until the very end with ooh ooh ooh. Even though she'd only pretended to know the lyrics, her mother had enjoyed it a lot. After that, remained as an incantation to remember that day she'd spent in fun and happiness with her mother. Of course, even though she seemed to find it funny at first, Aunt Rosa eventually tired of hearing it, and eventually started scolding One-chan when she said it. But to One-chan, it was a memory of a fun day that she'd never forget. So among the spells that Maria had created, it was the oldest and the first. Kasumi stuck her fingernails into that page too.
やめて、破かないで。そのページだけは許して。
ダメ。
With a shrill sound, a girl's world of happiness was erased.
これがあんたらの幸せな魔法なわけ？笑っちゃう笑っちゃう。幸せになる魔法なんてね、あるわけないでしょ。魔法はね、怒りとね、憎しみでできてるのよ。幸せってのはね、自分の背負わされた憎悪を人に全て押し付けた時にのみ与えられる解放感を言うのよ。あんたたちの言う幸せなんて絵本の中にしか出てこないまやかしなのよ。
As Kasumi laughed her head off, she slammed the grimoire against the ground and stepped on it.
悔しい？ねえ、悔しい？幸せの白き魔女さんたち、そんなに悔しかったら見せてみれば？あんたたちの魔法あるなら使ってみせればいいじゃない。 魔法が使えない魔女なんて魔女じゃない。つまり本当の魔女は私たち。あんたたちなんて魔法の夢で現実から逃避しているだけのクソガキどもなのよ。
じゃあ魔法を私が見せることができたなら、お姉ちゃんの魔法を信じてくれるの？
信じるわよ。魔法を使って見せることができたならね。ならやってみろよ、このクソボケガキ。
Silently, slowly, I stood up. Sensations of this cramped world, such as the pain in my body, felt truly trifling.
あら、まだ立てる元気はあったのね、大魔女さん。
立ち上がって何をしてみせるの？見せてみなさいよ、魔法。
魔法はあるわ。
はあ？この子何を言い出すかと思えば。あんたたち、今の聞いた？
静かに。へえ、面白いじゃない。半魔法の毒素を理由にあんたたちはいつも奇跡の力を拒んできた。白き魔女マリアの弟子、見せてみなさいよ、魔法を。一体どれだけの人間がその奇跡を信じて裏切られていったか知っている？誰もが信じ、誰もが裏切られて絶望した。そして本当の魔法は私たち黒き魔女の力でしか得られないことを知るのよ。
憎しみを誰かにぶつけるのはただの罪。そんなのは魔法じゃないわ。本当の魔法を私が見せてやる。
The Black Witch winced slightly. However, Kasumi sneered at me even more.
なら、見せてごらんなさいよ。それで、あんたはどの魔法を見せてくれるの？
Just walks up to Kasumi and gives her a hug.
飴玉を降らせる魔法？それともクッキーを増やす魔法？
The instant I opened my eyes, a tremendous wind arose.
何？突然。
さあさあ、おいでなさい。煉獄の七姉妹。
Oh crap, she's actually doing it. There was a flash behind me, and in an instant, 7 pieces of high-level furniture were gathered there. It was a power that far surpassed the magical strength I'd had in my prime. It was a power that matched even Mario Nechan and Beatrice.
煉獄の七姉妹、ここに。
Maybe because they're on Rokonjima? Is that why she can do this?
園児様、あなたはかつて言ったわ。私に魔力とあなたたちを刺激できなかったのだと。私をいじめるクラスメートに仕返しがしたいなんて、そんな安っぽい感情じゃない。私はマリアお姉ちゃんのマリアージュ・ソルシエールの世界を守るために、今こそ魔法の奇跡を見せることを命令するわ。
無理です。いくらなんでもこれだけ大勢の毒素の前では。
The 7 sisters also remembered what had happened in that classroom. If they could have obeyed Inch's order, they would have. However, surrounded by the toxin that runs thick in humans, they hadn't been able to display the miracle of magic, and they remembered very well how deeply that had hurt Ange. But Ange spoke very quietly.
なら、あなたたちも信じて。マリアージュ・ソルシエールは人を幸せにするために生まれた。そしてそれは黒き魔女と戦うためでもあった。その創立者の一人、原初その奇跡を見せ、その世界を守るって信じて。魔法を、魔女を、今こそ奇跡を。
When Kasumi gave an order to the black suits, one of them took out a gun and pointed it at Ange.
魔法を見せてくれるんでしょ？なら見せてちょうだい。魔法で火の玉でも稲妻でも打ち出してこの男を倒してみせなさいよ。チャンスは一度。3つ数えるうちにやってお見せなさい。できなければ覚悟してもらうわよ。
打ちなさいよ。
なんだこのガキ。イカれてやがるぜ。
The black suit pointing the gun laughed at Ange's detached attitude.
本気？こいつ頭の中までお花が咲いてやがる。なら撃たれなさいよ。死んじゃえば。ヘンジ、銃弾は魔法では防げないよ。
いいえ、何も恐れることはないわ。私の魔法は、煉獄の7姉妹は銃弾などものともしない。
エンジ様。
Mammon was perplexed by Ange's absolute trust. If she could comply, she would have, on that day as well, but because she had been unable to do anything, she had hurt Ange.
ガキめ、魔法が使えるってんなら早く見せてみやがるってんだ。どうしたよ、早く魔法を見せてみろってんだ。ほら、遠慮はいらねえぜ。俺にバビョーンと魔法ってやつをお見舞いしてくれよ。
The black suits jeered at her, but Ange simply concentrated her mind in silence.
撃っちゃえば。撃ってみろって言ってるのよ、向こうは。
この子恐怖でもう頭がどうかしてるんだわ。
バイバイ、エンジちゃん。
天国で好きなだけ魔女ごっこをしてなさい。撃て。
いいんですか？
おうち死ね。エンジェ。
やれるもんならやってみなさいよ、あんたの魔法を。
The black suit cocked the gun and, sneering, pulled the trigger. The sound of gunfire rang out, and the world stopped. A red spray scattered out, and chunks of flesh flew.
何をしてるの、マモン。銃弾ごとき無粋な石ころをエンジェ様に許すつもり？
Lucifer lined up the bullet perfectly with a single swing, sliced it. And in the chest of the black suit who had apparently fired the gun was a hole as big as a fist.
たまには私が一番乗りでもいいわよね。
Half of Leviathan's body was covered with blood, and a cold smile was on her face. Then slowly, the pitiful prey that she had brought down fell over.
貫いた人間を。
バカね、まだあんた信じてないの？私たちの主の魔力。
So, the way I can interpret this is, the way they said it before, magic can only be used to do something that you can do without magic. which means that there has to be a way that she could have done this without magic. In other words, we're basically assuming here that Ange overpowered all these people, like managed to grab a gun from one of them and just like single-handedly murdered all of them or something.
これだけの人間の前で権限したっていうの？何？
Kasumi and the rest were flustered. He certainly seemed to have fired his gun. However, it hadn't hit Ange. And why was the person who fired hurt instead?
これが魔法。見事よ、レビアタン。
光栄の至り。我らが主に逆らう愚かなる人間どもよ。今こそ冷やせ、審判の時。
どうして人間の世界に魔法は持ち込めないはずなのに、魔法は見えないはずなのに、触れられないはずなのに、どうして？
これが本当の魔法だからよ。
何をしてるのよお前たち。殺せ、殺せ。
One of the black suits.
銃口を覗かせる無礼を私が許すと思ったから。
One of the black suits who had finally come to his senses took out his gun, readied it.
死ね。
Those words were a requiem. The man's chest had already been pierced by Lucifer, who had become the stake of pride in an instant. With the sound of the second person falling, the black suits now realized for certain that their lives were in peril. The instant one of the black suits doubled over in shock and turned on his heels to escape from that place. The stake of sloth.
我が主への狼藉に対する報い。これ式で済んだことに感謝せよ。死ね！
In his right eye, a hole as big as a walnut opened, and his head split. Belphegor was sprayed with blood, and her face twisted demonically with the joy at being able to use her full power. The black suits were flustered, pointing their guns in every direction, but they didn't understand what was happening. They knew that something terrifying was coming for them from somewhere, but they didn't know where.
バカ！敵はあんたたちのすぐ目の前にいるわよ。魔女の家具があんたたちを狙ってる。
I guess another explanation could be that Amakusa is sniping them from far away. But I don't know how Ange would have known that. I guess it's just she had absolute faith. Is that's one way of looking at it. But they couldn't see, because they didn't believe in magic, they could not see. Just as the Black Witch said, Satan was standing boldly right in front of a black suit. However, the black suit couldn't see her at all.
人間に私たちの姿が見えるとでも捉えられるとでも間抜けな人間が魔法に対する畏怖を忘れたる愚かの代償を払うがいい。何よこれ。何が起こってるの。
あなたには見えない。愛がないから。
ありえない。これだけの人間がいて半魔法の毒素をばらまいてるってのに、どうして魔法が権限できるの？あんた何者なの？
魔女よ。あんたと違って本物の。
うわー！畜生！この甘
As though announcing his candidacy for becoming the fourth victim, one of the black suits pointed his gun at Ange, and the trigger was. Ange glared at him coldly and simply ordered,
死にさらせ。
次サタン。
フンドのサタン、すでにここに。ならばが今のエンジェ様と私たちに銃弾ごときが当たると思うか。
The stake of anger pierced and smashed the bullet fired by the black suit, and continued straight on toward the man's face.
己が愚かすうち、地獄で後悔せよ。死ね
With a terrible explosive sound, the upper half of the man's head was smashed. So it's probably that they're being sniped with explosive rounds, but I don't know how he's causing them to, or how he's causing the bullets they're firing to like be neutralized. I don't think that's something that's possible. So maybe they're just not actually firing in the real interpretation of this. Bathed in scattered flesh and blood, Ange quietly asked one more question.
ねえ、かすみおばさん。まだ、信じる気にならないの？
こんなバカなことあるわけないでしょ。認めないわ。魔法なんてあるわけがない。
そうよ。魔法なんてあるわけがない。魔女なんているわけがない。魔法はあるよ。魔女はいるよ。うりゃー。そうよ。魔法はあるのよ。魔女はいるのよ。そしてこの怒りと悲しみで満ちた世界は幸せの世界への扉を開く鍵に。あんたなんかにそれを否定させない。幸せな世界への鍵はみんなの手に握られてるんだ。それを奪う資格は誰にもないんだ。
それを理解できぬ哀れな人間よ。そなたの人生に魔法の力があったのに、もっと違った穏やかなものになっていただろう。そなたがその生涯において私は哀れむ。
Kasumi let out a piercing scream. At the same time, two of the black suits came for me at once, thrusting their guns at my head. Like they were trying to use me as a hostage against something their eyes couldn't see. Against the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, who had now reached the level of weapons, this was completely pointless.
畜生、どこにやがるんだ。攻撃をやめねえとこの天の命はねえぞ。姿を現してやがれ。
何言ってんのこいつ。美味しそうな腹渡をしてるくせに。エンジ様、次は私にお任せを。
許す。殺せ。
ありがたき幸せ。死ね
The man's chest split and his guts poured out, and this terrible way of dying threw the other man into a total panic. However, Asmodeus's form was already at his back, grasping at his neck and smiling obscenely.
かわいい子。ねえねえ、どこを貫いてほしい？エンジ様、ご希望はございますか？
頭。
かしこまりました。我が主。死ね。
The final black suit had his head smashed by the stake of lust, and his insides scattered. As his insides scattered, he twisted and fell. In the gruesome world where 6 people lay in a sea of blood, witch and human confronted each other.
スマデラかすみ、そなたの哀れなる人生に私は心の底より同情する。その埋めえぬ心の穴を塞げる魔法を授けてもよい。そなたがその魔法を信じるなら
バカなこと言わないで。こんなの私は認めない。
As Kasumi, who was scared out of her wits, stepped backwards, She picked up a handgun that someone had dropped. Well, nice knowing you. Then, shaking, she pointed it at Ange.
そうよかすみ、その銃で撃ちなさい。あんたの憎しみを銃弾に変えて放ちなさい。殺してやる。殺してやる。あんたを殺さなきゃ私の人生は報われないのよ。そうよ、殺して。引き金を引いて。あいつにあんたのみすぼらしい今日までの全ての怒りを全部叩きつけてやるの。そうでなきゃあんたは痛みと苦しみから解放されないのよ。
やめて、かすみおばさん。黒き魔女に耳を貸してはダメ。
殺してやる。殺してやる。あんたの母親の私の人生はめちゃくちゃ。
なら私の魔法でその人生をこれから少しずつ明るく穏やかなものにもできるかもしれない。あなたが魔法を信じ心を入れ替えさえすれば、あなたに新しい世界への扉を開いてあげられるの。
そんなものはないわ。あいつの言う救いなんてどうせおとぎ話の中だけよ。あんたの人生はもはや死ぬまでトゲまみれ。その苦痛の叫びをあいつに聞かせてやりなさい。失ったものは何も取り返せないのよ。そうでしょ、スマデラカスミ。
そうね、何も取り返せないかもしれない。でもきっと新しく何かを生み出すことができる。だからかすみおばさん、その銃を捨ててかすみおばさんにも幸せな世界を教えてあげられるかもしれない。
私はね、あんたの母親が逃げ出せ。あんたの母親のいい名付けと身代わりに結婚させられたのよ。将来を誓い合った男がいたのよ。別れさせられたのよ。あんたの母親の話もろくにしたことがない男とちぎりを交わさせられた私の気持ちが分かるっての。殺してやりたかった。なのに姉さんは勝手に死んだ。だからあんたを殺すの。そうでなきゃ私のトゲまみれの人生は終わらないのよ。
From Kasumi's eyes, tears of passion dripped down. So pitiable. This person's tears were so clear and beautiful, but for that very reason she hadn't been able to fully withstand her sad pain, and had been given no choice but to listen to the Black Witch's temptation.
かわいそうに。ならばせめてあなたを、あなたの魂を永遠に解放し、連鎖の鎖から解き放ってあげる。それが今の私にできる唯一の施しかもしれない。
死ねー、後ろ見合えんじ
さようなら、かすみおばさん。静かな世界でゆっくりと休んで。
I no longer feel anger or hatred for you. I just want to let your soul rest in peace. Kasumi's handgun spat fire. Slowly, that bullet continued through a world frozen to the utmost limit, aiming for Ange's forehead.
マモン、ありがとう。あなたたちと作太郎に出会えたから、私は全てを理解できた。
エンジェ。
作太郎は後ろを向いていなさい。マモン、その女を解放してあげて、そしてマリアージュ・ソルシエルの名誉を守れ。
はい、覚悟せよスマデラカスミ。
Even though the world was frozen, the stake of greed flashed like lightning, and had already gotten behind Kasumi.
貴様に多少の得があるならば再び煉獄の山で相まみえようぞ。死ねー。
The upper half of Sumadetta's Kasumi's head was smashed. Her cage of flesh was shattered, and she was finally released.
あとはあんたね、黒き魔女。今となってはあなたにエヴァおばさんの面影を見ていることさえ彼女に申し訳なく思うわ。
私の姿が未だに後ろ宮エヴァに見えているなら、それはあんたの中で未だに私が許せてないということだわ。分かっているのよ、エンジェ。あんただってトゲまみれの人生から解放されたくて仕方がないの。なら面白いことを思いついたわ。私もあんたに魔法を見せてあげる。あんたを殺すのは私じゃないわ。
With the worst of smiles on her face, the Black Witch changed her form into something like a black mist, or else a vast swarm of black flying insects, which began to swirl around me. Then the black mist began to gather bit by bit, shaping itself into the form of a human.
何の真似？
うすうすは想像がついてるくせに、あんたが最も憎み恨んだあの女よ。そして女もあなたを最も恨み憎んだ。
When the black mist cleared, over there was Aunt Ava's form, as she had been during her life. Her hands were holding a gun.
エヴァおばさんは死んだわよ。
お久しぶりね、エンジェ。あんたを殺すために地獄から戻ってきたわよ。
Aunt Ava glared at me with a mad laugh.
でもあまり驚かないわ。エヴァおばさんそういう人だったし。
私のお葬式はさぞや気分が晴れ晴れしたでしょ。私も晴れ晴れしていたわよ。あんたの面を二度と見なくて済むようになるんだからね。それがこれよ。
私を殺すこと、それが最後の遺言だったの。
How pitiful. Even after death, my aunt wasn't released from her pain.
黒き魔女の力こそ私の魔法の源泉だったわ。怒りと憎しみが私に努力と不屈を教えてくれた。
By the way, now it still doesn't mark her as dead.
それはあんたの言う現実逃避の魔法とは全く違うの。
あんたの言う魔法なんてただの八つ当たりによるストレス解消だわ。私たちの魔法は違う。世界そのものを作り変えるの。あんたの性悪魔法とは全く格が違
う。なら黒と白のどちらが勝つかこの場で決着をつけてあげる。死してなお黒き魔法で復活してあんたをこうして重厚で狙える私の奇跡に、あんたの白き魔法はどんな奇跡で対抗？半魔法の毒素であなたを取り込んだわ。七姉妹はもう二度と呼べないわよ。さっきの奇跡はもう起こらない。
それでも起こるから魔法って言うんだわ。いいわよ。マモン、私に力を貸して。
But Mammon didn't respond. She didn't appear. Certainly, as she'd said, the magic-resisting toxin had burned everything up like a wasteland, parched by a blazing sun. This might be a little tough.
呼びかけても無駄よ。もう二度と煉獄の七姉妹は答えない。
だからそれでも呼べるから魔法なのよね。
哀れね、エンジ。さよなら。あんたとのささやかな日々はそこそこに楽しかったわ。これでお別れ。よかったわね。あんたの終着駅がここ。
ええ、全くよ。気が利くわね。
ありがとう。それじゃお別れ。
The barrel of the gun rose slowly so that you could see all the way down it. Then, the trigger was slowly. At that moment, the gun exploded. It wasn't that it fired, it burst. You're kidding me. In shock, inside a frozen space, Ava looked at that ruptured gun. When time melted, the fragments would probably smash into her face all at once.
強欲のママ、ここに。バカ。
Behind Ava's back, Mammon stood. She had already penetrated the target I had given her, which was the gun.
これで魔法は十分、エヴァおばさん。
エンジ。
Then, time melted. The fragments of the burst gun and exploding gunpowder burned her face. Letting out a shrill scream, she covered her face and rolled around. It was pitiful.
運がなかったわね。これでゲームオーバーよ、エヴァおばさん。
I signaled to Mammon, so that Ava would be freed quickly from the pain of her burnt face as she writhed around.
ありがとう、マモン。あの日の教室であなたたちの無力を罵ったことを今こそ心の底より、そしてあなたたちは魔女を守るための優秀な家具だった。
こちらこそ感謝します。良き魔女に、良き主に最後に出会え、家具の本分を尽くせたことを心より光栄に思います。
Mammon had understood. This would be the final job I'd give her. Mammon quietly walked up to me. Then she looked down at
エヴァお
Ava.
ばさん、今日まで付き合ってくれてありがとう。これでお別れよ。Have a nice dream. See you hell.
Then the light sound of her forehead being bored into rang out. The battle of gunpowder, smoke, and fury, of white and black magic, ended. I get the feeling it was a long, truly a long journey, and the world slowly sank into darkness. So we're gonna end it here. I really don't know how long we have left in this episode, so the only thing I can do is just take a guess at how long we've been going. Anyway, we're gonna end it here, and next time we'll continue on. So I'll see you then. So until then, take care.